There's a lot of cool fights in the Demon Slayer manga and anime, and my personal favorite is between Giyu and Tanjiro versus Upper Rank 3 Akaza. There's just so much going into this battle regarding their backstories, their motivations, and all of that. That really culminates beautifully in my opinion, so I just want to explain a bit of that, talk about it. I hope you enjoy. If you do, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year, but yeah, let's get into it first with Tanjiro's motivations in this fight. Tanjiro's motivation in this battle could be pretty simply summed up by one single name, that name being Rengoku, the Hashira and the Flame Pillar who protected him from Upper Moon 3 Akaza during the Mugen Train mission. After Rengoku first protects him, Akaza asks, "Why are you protecting this weakling?" To which Rengoku responds, "This child is not a weakling, he's very strong," something along those lines, saying that Tanjiro is powerful and he's not weak just because he's injured in this moment. The fight continues on with Rengoku sacrificing himself to save everyone on the train as well as Tanjiro, and almost actually killing Akaza, but Akaza runs away into the woods to escape the sunlight. Here, Tanjiro gets up and throws a sword through him while screaming at him, calling him a coward, saying that Rengoku won and saved everybody. I'm just already getting sad again remembering all this. Rest in peace, Rengoku, my favorite Hashira, and a lot of people is a really great character. But yeah, this is Tanjiro's motivation in this fight. He wants to both avenge Rengoku and prove to Akaza that what Rengoku said was true. He is strong, and you don't have to be a regenerating demon who eats people to be strong and have strength. So that's essentially Tanjiro's motivation here. Akaza's motivations in this fight are very interesting because going into it, he's just angry at Tanjiro for what happened in the Mugen Train mission, how he yelled at him, calling him a coward, threw the sword through him and all that. And he views Tanjiro as a weakling, and his whole ideology is that the strong will kill weaklings and essentially just be able to do whatever they want. Right at the beginning of this battle, he already acknowledges that Tanjiro is now strong and Rengoku is right in what he said, but he acknowledges it for the wrong reasons. He still thinks Tanjiro was weak that night, laying on the floor bloodied up, and now he's become strong because he's been motivated. But Tanjiro has carried on Rengoku's worldview, which is that the strong should aid and protect the weak in order for the weak to become strong. And the cycle continues. He goes on to tell Akaza that he once was a newborn baby who was considered weak and couldn't defend himself, but people helped him grow and eventually he was able to. This is the first cracks in Akaza's armor in this battle as we see him envision his former master who told him a similar thing, and he punches the air of this vision and Tanjiro sees this. So yeah, his motivations going into the battle are similar but also different to what comes out of it. It essentially becomes a battle of worldviews, which is Akaza's own internal battle and why he's even a demon. It's the battle between his master and Tanjiro, Rengoku, their worldview versus his selfish demon one, which is the strong will kill the weak, end of story, which again is not factual. And now to explain Giyu the water pillar, Giyu met Tanjiro when he was on the floor begging for his demon sister not to be killed by the water pillar. Since then, he's grown and trained to become strong in order to turn his sister into a human again, and also defeat the Demon King Muzan. Giyu says that this should not be taken away. He's fighting largely to protect Tanjiro's life and dignity, along with all the other reasons he even became a pillar, of course, so this is also just his duty to be fighting this demon. The fight itself between the three is really well structured, as in different points, Giyu is protecting Tanjiro, Tanjiro is protecting Giyu, one of them isn't in the battle or they're knocked out, and it's just really interesting how they go back and forth like this. This actually culminates in Akaza remembering his master and his master's words sometimes as Giyu is standing in front of him no matter what, just strong and unwavering with resolve. He's dedicated to protecting Tanjiro because Tanjiro would do it for him, and Tanjiro's dignity should not be taken away, neither should his life. In this battle, Giyu awakens his mark at one point after returning from being kicked through some walls, and you could see how dedicated he is to not letting anyone else die that he cares about in front of him. He just will do anything to stop this from happening. It's really impressive how well Giyu does in this fight, as Akaza himself praises him, saying he's never fought a water user or breath user like this, as well as the fact that he lasted so long when he thought he was about to kill him. Of course, he did not kill Giyu, luckily. Eventually, while onlooking the battle between Giyu and Akaza, Tanjiro's able to enter this see-through world, which we see he learns about in a flashback with his father, and he's able to decapitate Akaza by catching him off guard for a moment. Akaza is so stunned by Tanjiro's sudden attack that he compares it to the likelihood of fighting a tree, because even babies emit a small battle spirit, yet Tanjiro had none in this moment. Because it's Demon Slayer and Akaza is a demon, this is not the end, as he tries to hold on his head after this moment, but Giyu throws his broken sword through Akaza's head, knocking it to the floor. Even after this, his body fights on its own, knocking out Tanjiro, and then Giyu is just defending Tanjiro, saying that he won't let him die, and that he's still here alive. I'm a little over the place here, but also before he was decapitated, Akaza offered Giyu to become a demon, and said don't die like Kyojuro, become a demon, And yeah, he didn't even feel Tanjiro's presence. It's done really well. Eventually, we get the flashbacks of Akaza's life. And all that still isn't enough, as Akaza was still about to continue regenerating and fighting. And then Tanjiro wakes up once again, getting up. His sword slips out of his hand and he punches Akaza in the face. Akaza sees his own master from his past punching him. And at this point, it's pretty much the end of him. He self-implodes, throwing off an attack, smiling right before he dies, and Tanjiro is saved by Giyu as they run out of there. Even then, some parts of Akaza's body are still there, and there's more internal dialogue between his master and Muzan and his wife. Muzan almost convinces him to keep getting stronger, since that was the point, and Tanjiro had actually achieved this state which he would wanted to achieve, but he couldn't because of his selfish nature and fighting style. And finally, he returns fully back to his human self in this heaven/hell-like afterlife state, and he cries to his wife, apologizing, and they're saying it's all over now. So that was the end of that fight. Giyu and Tanjiro represented Akaza's humanity, which is ultimately what defeated him in the end. And I also forgot to mention that a big reason why Giyu is also fighting for Tanjiro is because he lost his sister as well as losing Sabito, so I just wanted to add that in. I'm not too professional, sorry about that. And I think it's easily the most beautiful fight in Demon Slayer. The themes, the motivations, the fight itself is really cool. Giyu using all his moves, unlocking his mark. They both feel equally important in this fight, Tanjiro and Giyu. Giyu is mostly there to just keep fighting Akaza, which gave Tanjiro time to come up with his see-through world state and to analyze Akaza's fighting style. So yeah, this couldn't be done without either of them. They both fought for each other and it was amazing. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please subscribe. I'm trying to get 1,000 by the end of the year, just a fun little goal, and yeah, it helps out a lot, and I'll see you in the next one.